Hey everybody, my name's Arthur Wu, and this is the 1830 Napoleon Saber. I just whacked that against the chair right here. Did you see that wiggle? Yeah, this is 1055 carbon steel. I'm pretty sure it's pretty nicely tempered. I've accidentally hit it against the ground a couple times, and didn't really dull the blade much. Now what happened, that actually did happen to the blade was that, I keep hitting everything, don't I? Accidentally hit this against the scabbard and the steel scabbard, and I bent the tip a little bit, and that's something you got to be careful of. You're holding this and you're swinging it around, the sword. And but yeah, so it comes with the steel scabbard. It fits very nicely, does not rattle, and these two rings here, they hook up to like a tassel that you can probably buy anywhere, and hook up to your belt if you want to be a Civil War guy, if you want to be ultra French. I don't know. That's not really stereotypical French, is it, to have a saber? But yeah, so this blade, once again, I think if I forgot to mention, 1055 carbon steel, so it's not too hard of a steel and not too soft either. This probably won't break just because of just how much vibration it has. It is sharpened about 3/5 of the way down, or actually 2/5 of the way down, something like that. You can't really see it on video that well, but yeah, sharpened down all the way to the tip, and that's because of historical kind of standard. And this part of the blade is more meant to block against attacks and parry. And so yeah, it's pretty nice. Hilt is pretty nice, got some good hand protection, I keep saying on the back of this, it has some writing on it I can't really read. I can usually pronounce French, but the thing is, I can't read this cursive. So if anybody can, and you'd like to write it out what it is, I'd like to pronounce it in a different video. But I'm pretty sure you can look up what it says online as well. So yeah, it's pretty nice. It's about 2.4 pounds, and pretty good. What I forgot to mention was that it being about 6 inches or 5 inches from the hilt is very good. Oh my goodness, and it's better than the Thompson Saber's balance, which is about 8 inches from the hilt, run right here, and I'll get to why that's significant in a moment. But for that being, that's pretty nice, and so 2.4 pounds is a little bit lighter than the cold steel U.S. cavalry saber, 1860 heavy cavalry saber. And so if you want something you can actually use, this might be a good thing to get. But anyway, let's wipe my fingerprints off of the blade and go on to pros and cons. Now, for pros and cons of this nice, beautiful blade, I would say that a pro of this blade is the very nice balance. It's not too close to the guard, so it would turn into a light, kind of weird, flimsy-ish blade. It's not too far that it's be too heavy to handle, you know what I'm saying? It's just right at about, if I can even balance, use this hand. Right at that 5.5 or actually 6-inch mark. I think that's right at that 6-inch mark, you know what I'm saying? And actually a little bit more than 6 inches, but who's measuring? So that's a pro to this thing. It's got nice hand protection. That's a pro as well. It's very close to historical proportions. Even though some would say, historical sabers, some were a little shorter than 33 inches, which is just, that's what it is, 33 inches. This thing weighs about 2.4 pounds, and so it's a little lighter than the U.S. 1860 cavalry saber, heavy cavalry saber, the cold steel manufacturers, and that one's actually, I've heard, it's pretty heavy for those who don't live and lift. But yeah, so it's pretty nice. Now, my major gripe about this thing, well, there's two of them, okay? One of them is the way that, you won't be able to see this on camera, but the bevel is, I'll try to do it anyway, is a little bit uneven, okay? So what I mean by bevel is that the way that they sharpened it in the factory. And so pretty much what you want is an even acute point, okay? Not too acute, but not too obtuse either, okay? Acute, obtuse, geometry, vocabulary. Anyway, so pretty much you don't want the bevel to be like this, which is what it is right now. And I think that was just like a factory mistake. And you know, that's what you get for sniping it for $150 when it used to be $230 on Amazon. But yeah, so you want it to be perfectly kind of symmetric, and that's the ideal bevel, and that's more closer to what I have on my Thompson Saber, which is, you know, probably why I'm so happy to have it. But this one, it's a little bit shifting to the right side. The right side right here, it's a longer, I think, side of the bevel on the right side on the left side, and so I'm not sure how that's going to turn out later on, you know, over the years having this sword. But you know, that's just a minor problem. Main problem with this sword is the handle, okay? And it could be historically made this way. I'm not sure if, you know, sabers from 1810 or 1830 or what have you all had handles this thick, but it's very, very uncomfortable to use. And you might see some people, you know, doing some test cutting bottles with this, and you see them swinging around like hit the chair here. You see them swinging around like, and you think this blade is really heavy, but it's not, okay? It's actually the handle that makes it cumbersome, okay? Unless you go around it with, you know, special techniques and, you know, handling and stuff. But the handle is just too thick for people with smaller hands, okay? And unlike Donald Trump, I'm willing to say that I have small hands compared to most of the Scandinavian population. I am 5'2". Now, I do have a fairly thick palm, but the thing is, my fingers aren't long, and so if I had like a smaller palm and longer fingers, now that might be a little bit easier to really bring my fingers around, like for example the Thompson Saber. And the reason I like the Thompson Saber so much is because the handle is just perfect, for me at least. And now if you're like 6'5", this is like the perfect sword for you, okay? You're not only will you naturally be strong, you know, without hitting up the gym, you know, your fingers will likely, you know, wrap around this thing pretty nicely, and you'll be like, oh wow, it's a perfect grip. I don't know what people are complaining about. But if you're a short guy like me, that's, you know, it's kind of hard to hold. So there's two solutions to that problem, though. You can hold it in kind of like a closer to the hilt, or what is this? Closer to the pommel, you know, with your pinky right here, and have more of a pistol grip, like, you know, as if there's like a little trigger right here, and triggered. You can, you know, hold it with a thumb against this thing right here, acting as kind of like a lever, and that, you know, it's okay that way. But pretty much it's kind of like, if you try to hold it up here, you will have a hard time getting your thumb and index finger, you know, strong enough, or yeah, I should say, that's a good word to say, you know, stable enough to handle this without any wrist problems, you know what I'm saying? And so that's my main gripe about it. And having these come all the way down to here, that's like, that's just part of the issue, you know what I'm saying? you know, you can't handle this like you would handle like a Chinese doll or something like that, or like a jian, or even a medieval arming sword. You know, they got thinner handles, you know. So obviously people in medieval times were a little bit shorter, but yeah, so I'll show you kind of like the handling of each kind of grip, okay? So let me move these chairs out of the way. That's my dog over there. Isn't she cute? Oh my god! What are you doing? Oh, dirty. She's been digging. Anyway, so you got this pistol grip guard right here, right? So, you know, this is ideal for stabbing, thrusting, okay? You got this thing right here, which is a little nice for cutting, although you gotta watch out for your wrist, okay? Because just how thick this is, you know, you're not gonna be able to spin it around as easily unless you totally let go of everything. And then, you know, that pretty much, you lose the stability of, you know, having the thumb and pinky here, and the stability of the cut in general, if you're letting go of everything. And that's my main gripe about it, because this is a cutting saber, man. You know, you should be able to control the cuts with your thumb and your index finger, you know, or at least these 3 fingers. And it's just like, I can sort of do that, but it's so unwieldy, and it's all just because of the handle, you know. So I mean, you could do precision kind of things with the thumb right over here, maybe thumb even back here, and but you know, it's a lot more comfortable, obviously, with a hybrid kind of pistol grip kind of thing near to the hilt, pommel right here. And so pretty much another thing about it is they made the pommel, or the guard, they made it a little bit too edged. So when you have your pinky right here, you just kind of like you're rubbing against it, you know, and it's just kind of irritating to your pinky. And so, you know, soon you'll develop a callus, of course, I hope, and then you know, it'll feel better. But that's just the main problem with the sword. It's not too heavy to use, you know, but it's a pain for your wrist, you know, just because it's so thick in the palm. I mean, yes, yeah, thick in the palm. And the handle, you know, that's the main deal breaker for this sword for me, man. Other than that, it's pretty good. You gotta be careful with the steel scabbard. Oh. Did I not mention that it comes with a steel scabbard? Well, of course you saw it in the beginning of the video, right? Anyway, so with this thing, you know, you might hit the scabbard, you know, if you're holding it, trying to be cool, like me. I'm always trying to be cool. Just kidding. You might hit it against this thing right here, and you know, maybe blunt the tip or anything. So pretty much, I blunted the tip one time, and well, not really blunted. I hit it against this. I just kind of brought out the scabbard, started swinging around, and you know, this thing was behind my back, and you know, I just kind of accidentally hit the tip against this, and I think, yeah, there's a little thing right here. That's where I hit it against, and it kind of, you know, bent the tip inward a little bit, and I spent a little bit of time of, you know, trying to readjust the tip again, and it's fine now. You know, it can stab into wood and stuff, and it's, you know, not a big deal. But that's something you got to worry about. And also for the steel scabbard, you may also want to spend some time oiling it up so it does not rust too much. Oiling and using that super fine steel wool, and yeah. But overall, it's a pretty nice sword. It's not too bad. You know, it's especially if you can snipe it for $150. I'm not sure if you can replicate what I did. Basically, what happened was on Amazon.com. Okay, this sword usually goes for about $210, or right now it's $190. But for some reason, they lowered it to $150. So I was like, man, I've got to get this sword. So I got it, and 1 hour later, after purchasing it, they raised the price to $190, and it was just so fishy because I remember it used to being $230, and then like all of a sudden it said it's $154 and discounted to $152, and I was just like, what? What? And so I was just like, okay, well, Amazon's clearly making a mistake, and I'm totally gonna capitalize on it. And so I'm happy for what I got for $150. Steel Scabbard is pretty nice because you keep it in a really tight space. It's not gonna bend the blade like a leather scabbard. That happened to one of my swords, and I bent it back into shape, of course. But yeah. So you're looking for a nice sword, and you're a tall guy, or a tall girl if you're a 6'2" girl or something with long fingers, this is the sword for you, maybe. Or maybe you just want a long sword. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. My dog says hi. She says hello. Nah, she doesn't. She doesn't give a shit. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll be posting more videos. Katana machete is next. Tactical katana machete. And so is the cutlass machete, and the Latin machete as well. So yeah, like and subscribe, and there will be music in the future.